Why does God want us to wake up early in the morning? The answer to this question is hidden in that beautiful system of the universe, which is moving toward its conclusion in the final moments of the night. And this is precisely the special hour when the Creator of the universe turns his particular attention toward his servant. What is the secret that the Lord of the universe wants to see his servant standing before him at the time of true dawn? The greatest answer to this lies in his boundless love that he has for his servant. When the entire world is immersed in the sleep of heedlessness, Allah Almighty descends to the lowest heaven, so that he may see that servant who, purely for his pleasure, sacrifices his sweet sleep and leaves his bed. This time is, in reality, a hidden secret and a direct dialogue between the servant and the Lord. What is so special that God opens the doors of his mercy for his beloved servants, specifically in the silence of the morning? The greatest reason for this is control over the self, because Allah the Exalted says, indeed, rising at night is most effective in crushing the ego. Surah Al-Sarah. God's will is that in this silence, the servant listens to the voice of his heart, seeks recompense for his sins, and receives benefit from that divine light which is reserved only for those who rise before dawn. When a servant sits on the prayer mat and extends his hands before his Lord, all the angels of the universe marvel at his steadfastness. This time purifies the servant's soul from the heaviness of the material world and grants him a spiritual elevation that is sufficient to protect him from all the trials and evils of the entire day. Subhanallah. Understand this wisdom of God, why he invites his servant to rise before dawn. The demand of his love is that his servant should not remain deprived, but should be awake at the time when mercies are being distributed. Why has the Creator of the universe linked human success and the blessings of the entire day with morning wakefulness? In reality, this desire of his is a universal plan to create blessing and balance in the life of the servant. The noble prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, specifically prayed, O Allah, place blessings for my ummah in the early morning hours. The fruit of this supplication is received by that servant who begins his day before sunrise. What deep connection has God placed between the system of the universe and human wakefulness, for which waking up early is essential? Because he does not want to see his servant lagging behind in the race of the world, for the morning is the time of distribution of provision, when angels spread across the earth. History bears witness that all the great people who have passed, whether they were the noble companions or successful thinkers of the modern era, the secret of their greatness was hidden in this very habit of rising early. When a servant wakes up early in the morning, he attains that mental focus and physical energy which those who wake up late can never achieve. This time teaches the servant discipline and makes him realize that time is a great trust bestowed by Allah. What is the secret that the Lord of the universe wants to see his servant before him at this time? Because he does not want his servant to waste his abilities due to laziness and lethargy. Rather, he wants the servant to strive for his lawful provision with alertness and determination, and to become an example for his family and society. The blessing of the morning creates such expansion in the servant's work that he achieves in a short time what others fail to attain, even after struggling the entire day. Why has the Creator of the universe linked human success and the blessings of the entire day with morning wakefulness? The answer to this is also hidden in the structure of the human body, which the Creator of the universe has created under a special system, and the secret of this system's best performance lies in staying connected with nature. Why does God want the servant to wake up early in the morning? One major reason is that he wants to see his servant protected from illnesses, mental stress, and depression. Modern science today acknowledges that waking up with the first rays of the morning activates happiness hormones, like serotonin present in the human brain. When a servant breathes in the cool and pure morning air, his entire physical system becomes synchronized with the glorification of Allah. Allah Almighty has sworn in the Quran, and by the morning, when it breathes, Surah Tekthwat. Subhanallah. Understand this wisdom of God, why He invites His servant to rise before dawn. Because this breathing of the morning is actually a symbol of the new life of the universe. God's wisdom is that the servant should benefit from this oxygen and light, which are healing for his sight, hearing, and heart. Waking up late creates irritability and restlessness within the servant, whereas waking up early grants him a dignified and tranquil personality. What is so special that God opens the doors of His mercy for His beloved servants, specifically in the silence of the morning? Because He wants His servant to be mentally strong enough to face the challenges of life with a smile. The ocean of His wisdom is so vast that the more we dive into it, the more new doors of understanding continue to open. In reality, this is the time for the opening of that grand court of the universe where the distribution of rewards begins. In a Hadith Qudsi, Allah Almighty says, "The last part of the night is the time when I am closest to my servant." So just imagine, how can the Creator of the universe see His servant sleeping on his bed at that moment when He Himself is calling him? What is the secret that the Lord of the universe wants to see His servant standing before Him at the time of true dawn? The answer to this is also hidden in the incident of Lady Fatima az-Zahra, peace be upon her, when one morning the Prophet of Allah came to her house and found her sleeping at the time when provision was being distributed. He awakened his beloved daughter and said, "O my daughter, rise and be present at the distribution of your Lord's provision, and do not become among the heedless, for Allah Almighty distributes people's provision between true dawn and sunrise." Why has the Creator of the universe linked human success and the blessings of the entire day with morning wakefulness? Because He wants His servant to be saved from deprivation and to fill his garment with that light of dawn which continues to shine throughout the day on his face as dignity and peace. In the Holy Quran, Allah Almighty has sealed the importance of this time by saying, "By the dawn." And when God swears by something, it means that a great reality beyond human intellect is hidden within it. Understand this wisdom of God, why He invites His servant to rise before dawn. One reason for this is also that the supplication made in the silence of the morning has the power to shake the throne, because at that time the servant sacrifices the greatest pleasure of his self, sleep, purely for God, and this is that sincerity which God seeks from His servant. The noble Sufis say that whoever becomes accustomed to rising before dawn has already completed half the journey toward divine recognition. What is so special that God opens the doors of His mercy for His beloved servants specifically in the silence of the morning? Because He wants the servant to become part of that universal harmony in which animals, birds, and every particle of the universe are praising and glorifying in their own way. So is it possible that the best of creation remains heedless at a time when the entire universe is awake? When the great conquerors of Islamic history, such as Sultan Muhammad the Conqueror, were asked how they achieved impossible victories, they replied, "Our nights were spent in prostration, and our mornings in wakefulness." Why does God want us to wake up early in the morning? Because He wants to make His servant a strong-willed and steel-like human being, one who rejects the warmth of his bed and gives preference to the heat of his purpose. This time is for charging the spiritual battery of a person, so that he may remain protected from the trials, lies, envy, and hatred of the entire day. Thus, God's desire for us to wake up early is in reality His kindness upon the servant, such that once a person begins to realize it, he would never accept even a single second of sleep at that time. Rather, he would become captivated by that luminous state which has been reserved exclusively for those destined for true dawn.